Hello and welcome, this is Mr. Siege. So a few days ago I had the luxury of having full access to an absolute kraken of a player from none other than the Mega Alliance 60 GT, who of course we have all heard of. But this guy is called J98 or J Tower, but today I'll just call him J, and many of you may have heard of him before. Now, in this video, I check out his amazing Siege investment and all in all subliminal account. This could be the best engineering player in Rise of Kingdoms. So let me show you a sneak peek of what's to follow in this video. From background story to stats, equipment, armaments, commanders, spending, and results. So stick around, I think you're going to be amazed. So I'd actually heard of this guy Jay way before making this video, as somebody in my kingdom mentioned him, and I briefly checked out his YouTube channel, which will be in the link in this video description. But I'm basically on a quest to find the best siege slash engineering player in Rise of Kingdoms, and I may well have found them. I came across his Facebook post on a Rise of Kingdoms group 2 days ago, showing his two sets of ranged equipment and armaments. Now, I knew there were many better siege players out there than me, and it's certainly not fair that I'm getting a lot of recognition and these guys aren't. So obviously I sent him a message and requested me taking a look deeper into his account, and wow, what an account this guy has. I need to give a big thank you to the fantastic content creator Ihara, who has been instrumental in making this happen. Again, a link to her YouTube will be in the video description. So before delving straight into the account, I want to talk a bit about Jay's experience with Siege and how he got into engineering. I'll run some less Siege related bits in the background that I'm sure many of you are interested in, as Jay obviously has a much extensive account, but obviously I'll keep mainly Siege focused. So I'd love to say that in terms of Rise of Kingdoms, we have loads in common, but unfortunately it stops with Siege. Now this chap, like most in 60 GT, is a kraken of a player. He's possibly spent more on Rise of Kingdoms than I've earned in my 10 years of working. But wow, doesn't he have the account to show it? Believe me. And that's probably why I'm not in a kingdom like 1960. But what we do share is an absolute love for Siege, and Jay has been suggesting that many players use Siege since October last year, when he decided to bite the bullet and expertise Margaret and Babur. So go and check out his channel and Ihara's too. You'll see how he fights with engineering marches and field marches in his videos. Now, he actually told me how much fun they are, and honestly, I couldn't agree more. He's been playing this game for 5 years now, and actually claims that open field fighting with normal troops is boring. In his own words, it's just push in, pull out. Which, yeah, I know we don't usually complain about that sort of thing, but in Rise of Kingdoms, it's not that much fun. He did say that the ranged troop control is much more interesting in terms of finding a good place to locate your troops, and you need to keep an eye on the enemy's movement at all times. Just a lot more strategic play involved. So true. Now, one of the big questions I was wondering about is how a huge kingdom like 1960 felt about him using Siege on the field. And he told me that when he first started playing ranged, everyone said he was nuts, but after he sent reports from fighting with 1034 and 2268 from a bridge and bullfight, everyone started to realise that ranged could do some ridiculous damage. Some even started their own ranged troop, including the fantastic Seawill, who I'm sure you'll all have heard of. If not, yet again, go and check him out on YouTube. And obviously after this, Lilith started to buff ranged commanders and even added Gonzalo, the AoE commander. He told me that now 60 GT have actually started to assemble a ranged group, which I'm hugely excited to witness on the open field, obviously. Now, as you can see, Jay is currently a 227 million power whale with almost a whopping 30 billion kill points, boasting over 1.1 billion T5 kills. In his best KVK since Autarchs were introduced, he gained himself 220 million kills, and his most healed was almost 220 million too. Just imagine the amount of resources required to heal that many troops. It makes my 15 million healed and 38 million kills seem pretty pathetic. And to guys like him, they are. So as we know, 1960 are in another huge KVK, including the likes of 2489, 1093, 1188, and even my original kingdom, 2142, although they are minnows in comparison. But J ranks 45th for kill points in this giant of a KVK, which is unbelievable, and our boy here has not one but 2 siege marches. So let's check them out. Firstly, we see Babur with what looks like his best set of siege equipment. He has a fully crit set of siege equipment here, including the immolating plume, which is crazy. This is what siege dreams are made of. A horn is also a fantastic choice to help him get his active skills triggering quicker, although he is missing the iconic tier 1 on 5 of this set, which we will try and find out why soon. Now we see Mog is equipped with the second set of gear. We have a crit on the chest piece and weapon, which is actually from the leadership set. This gives 19.5% troop attack, not quite as good as a new siege weapon, but still very nice. And he does get a 3% defense buff from the 2-piece set, as he's rocking the leadership boots too, which is good. Now let's see how the stats add up. So Babu's kit has a total of 120.5 stats, which is madness. My best set only adds up to 102.5, a whole 18% less, but I do get 26 base stats compared to his 12 due to iconic upgrades, which I'm sure we'll be looking to in the future. His second siege set has 91.5% stats, which again is really nice compared to my 89.5% stats on the second set. So we were pretty close on this one, but he is rocking a ring and a horn, plus ignored 3% of the enemy defense because of his weapon being at iconic level 2, which is obviously pretty great too. Obviously, Jay has Gonzalo and Garja, also both maxed, but clearly uses them as secondary commanders, which is what I'd also recommend. As you can see, he has so many expertise legendary commanders. I counted 67 in total, which I honestly can't fathom. Although a little odd why he's not gotten round to maxing Gorgo yet. Now, Jay is obviously VIP 18, like most in 60 GT, I'm sure, but he's most definitely not leeching gold chests. He's a huge spender himself. From his Lilith membership points, it seems he spent over $300,000 on Rise of Kingdoms. That's super impressive. I love the fact he's sitting on over 1 million gems. Now let's take a look at when he acquired his range commanders and how many kills they've accumulated so far. We see Babur was picked up in February last year, but took around 7 months to expertise. It seems in October last year, Jay decided to go full in on Siege. 27 million kills since then is very impressive. He would have initially paired Babur with Margaret, of course, who's also maxed in October of last year. She also has pretty much exactly the same amount of kills, which makes me wonder if he does actually still pair them together, or maybe it's just a coincidence. Plus, this would be odd since Babur also has equipment on, and if pairing these two, you'd definitely run Margaret as primary. Now, let's check out his 2 newest engineering commanders. Firstly, Gonzalo, which Jay maxed within a day of acquiring, which is pretty smart. He's already gained almost 13 million kills in such a short while. Great. Garja took him over a month to expertise and has also gained 12.5 million kills. Again, really nice. Looking back on my account, I also recruited Margaret and Babur a little after but expertise them sooner by a month or two. They've actually got the same amount of kills between them. But this is crazy. We actually expertise Garja Marder on the same day, although his Garja has twice as many kills as me, which makes me think we pair these commanders differently, as I tend to use Baba and Garja as, I guess, more of a tanky march, with Margaret and Gonzalo doing the big damage. Although, until recently, my second march only had epic equipment, which obviously will reflect on the kills achieved. Now, let's go and check out those amazing armaments. We had a quick glance at them earlier. We've got 24.4% of siege stats on Margaret's armaments with 2 legendary inscriptions. Great. 1 rare and 1 normal. Now, firstly, we have Merciless, which obviously, as a legendary inscription, should be really OP. But I actually feel that it's a bit meh. It increases the skill damage resistance of the wielder's troops by 5%, which obviously doesn't really matter at all if you're at range, but it does increase the attack of the wielder's siege by 30% for 10 seconds after entering battle, which, yes, does sound pretty decent, although you'll probably only get 1 active skill off it in that time frame. But if you are entering and exiting battles quite frequently, which often happens, then this actually could be very good. If you're in an altar fight, however, you'll probably not benefit that much from this inscription, as 90% of the time you'll just be fully connected to a target. Sharpshooter, on the other hand, which is available in the KVK Autark Tavern, is fantastic. Your troop gains a 5% boost to ranged normal damage dealt, and whenever the troop launches a ranged basic attack, has 10% chance to spend 50 rage to increase the damage of the attack by 50%, with a cooldown of 5 seconds. So that's quite nice. Then we have Devious, which enables a troop to deal 2.5% more skill damage of all types, which includes range. Definitely a nice inscription to have. And last but not least, the rare inscription Sharp Arrows, which gives your troop a 4% boost to ranged normal damage dealt, without any cooldown, almost on par with the accessory Greatest Glory. Now let's take a look at his other set of siege equipment, which is currently on Babur. He's actually got this set down as Canon 1, which is cool. And again, he's got the Merciless and the Sharpshooter legendary inscriptions, which we just talked about, but also this Bloody Bolt. This gives the troop a 2% boost to range normal damage dealt, and when in range mode, their troop deals 5% more range normal damage to enemy troops with less than 50% units remaining. Very impressive, and again, we see another Sharp Arrows, which we know is a great rare inscription. Now, this set of armaments gives 21.3% of siege stats, 2.2% march speed, and an awesome 3.5% all damage. All in all, these 2 sets of armaments are definitely the best I've ever seen on any ranged march. Now, I'm just going to have a bit of a nosy at all of his other siege armaments. And wow, he's got some nice stats on these. Yeah, some of these he could have actually put another sharpshooter inscription on if he had one from the KVK shop. Because this one here hasn't actually got like good siege stats on, making me think he put this on a few months ago before actually acquiring a lot better armaments, maybe. And again, yeah, some really nice stats on some of these. I'd probably gone for this one instead of the one he's actually got equipped on Margaret, potentially. It's probably not going to make a huge amount of difference. Devious is a decent inscription when we had looked at it earlier. And again, here's the one he's got on Baba with the rare inscription. Stats aren't as good as some of the others, but it's worth it for the rare inscription to have that one on there. And again, more really, really nice siege stats on these armaments. He's really got a huge array of decent armaments. Pretty crazy. So let's have a look at this one. He must have recently transmuted this one. He's obviously gained a 3.5% siege unit attack. Obviously, he's locked in the lower stats here. I probably wouldn't have even bothered locking those in. They're a bit low for my liking. He's definitely really well set up for a third siege march if he ever plans on doing that in the future, which I'm actually not sure about whether he will or not. But yeah, he's just got a ton of great armaments here. Let's go and take a look at what Jay's got in terms of resources and speed ups. Obviously, we can see he's got almost 100 billion resources already open. And oh my gosh, I've never seen a resource pack like this. Amongst the billions of unopened resource packs, he has 27 million VIP points lying around and about 270,000 unopened gems. And yeah, look at all these resource packs. I'm not going to add up all of those. Maybe you want to do that for me. But yeah, let's take a look at his speed ups. And again, Jay has a hell of a lot. At this point, I'm tempted to steal his account. But of course, I'd never do a thing like that. I don't condone stealing. Now, obviously, we've seen his siege equipment, but let's see how many unopened armament chests he's got remaining. And turns out not many. But look at these inscriptions. We've got assertive, which can be used on any legendary flag that deals 2% more damage while on the map. Could be really good for a ranged march. Next, we've got line shot. While in V formation, the wielder's troop deals 5% more ranged normal damage. Again, a really, really nice inscription. I think that's just a standard inscription, but it's really good. And then we've got two of the war cry inscriptions, which increases the attack by 3.5%. Just a pretty standard inscription, to be honest. And then we finally have elite, which enables a troop to deal 1% extra damage, which, yeah, is okay. So let's check out his KVK so far. Now, not long's gone since he started, maybe a week or so. He's unlocked 2 support skills. And we can see his spending here. He's bought quite a few bundles. Wow, 60 GT. Do you have a space for Mr. Siege anywhere? No, I don't think so. Let's go and check out his crystal tech. Okay, so he's definitely doing all right. I think he's probably bought quite a few bundles in terms of crystal pop-ups. It's probably not as far as I thought he was going to be. But I guess it's still a while till fighting begins. I don't think they've done any fighting so far in this KVK, or at least I've not seen any. I've sort of expect him to be nearly maxed by the time they do fight, especially against kingdoms such as 1093. I just have a quick look on his wall. Usually has Hera, YSS, but they're out at the moment. I think he's been doing barb chaining with 3 marches by the looks of it, because he's got Hera out. I believe he's got Richard and YSG and Herman with Liang. So yeah, he's definitely been chaining by the looks of it, which is good. I don't ever expect that from such a whale, to be honest, but there you go. He's obviously working hard, which is great. Game of Power event. Who knows how he's going to do in that? But 4.7 mil points for Boom 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 is really high, but what can you expect from 60 GT really? So now we're going to check out some of his reports to basically see who he's actually using on the field and a bit of an idea what his reports are like. I mean, we'd expect always positive trades really, but we had Margaret and Babur there, and here we've got Gonzalo and Gage and Marder. So, kind of as I almost thought, he could be using Margaret with Babur and Gonzalo Gage. I mean, I know plenty of people that do this, but personally, I just prefer Margaret with Cordova. They just absolutely slap. Whether Jay's tried that, I'm not sure. I can't see any reports where he's tried Margaret with Gonzalo. Still, they're all positive reports. Really nice to see. Really, it's just as I expected. Literally, all his favourite reports are his ranged commanders, so he must really love them, which is great to see. Anyway, I think this account review's gone on long enough. I'll have a bit more of a nosy around on Jay's account whilst he's asleep. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you think you can find anyone that's stronger with range and engineering than this guy here, then let me know and I want to check them out. So I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next one, guys.